Good evening. I think the hour's come, so we want to go ahead and get our program underway. And I'm Ben Dillard, the president of the college, and on behalf of our Board of Commissioners, the entire college family, we want to welcome you to the second annual Entrepreneurial Gala this evening. We want to give our special welcome to our honorees and all of their guests. So if you would, let's give them a round of applause early on, our special guests. What a great crowd we have here. We appreciate everyone being here. We thank you for all you do for this institution to make us successful. Without you, we could not do the job that we're called on to do. And it's all because of the difference you make with the support you give to the institution. The first thing I'd like to do is recognize the members of the Entrepreneurial Forum Charter Group. Last year was our first group, and the folks that are here with us this evening that was in this group is Starley Alexander, Mark Bike, Bill Daly, Fred Dubard, Gene Leatherman, Charlene Lowry, Kay Paris, Mike Rickenbach, and Reynold Williams. Other members that are a member of this charter group but aren't here this evening is Dr. Eddie Floyd, Robbie Hill, Dr. John Keith, Tim Norwood, and Reamer King. And we'd also like to pay a special tribute this evening to Toy Nettles. Toy Nettles was one of the charter members, and as you know, he passed away this past year. It was a great loss. Toy was a great supporter of this institution, and we miss him quite a bit. Tonight, though, we're happy to be honoring and inducting into the Entrepreneurial Forum 10 additional outstanding entrepreneurs from our community. The people we're honoring this evening have a couple of things in common. They all had the courage to follow their dream, and they all give back to the community tremendously. Just one tidbit of information, the 10 folks that we're recognizing and honoring this evening, they are responsible for over 2,500 jobs in our community. So I think that is outstanding. It's going to be a fun evening. I'm going to ask Nick Lyerly if he will come up, one of our own at Florence Darlington Tech, and give us the invocation. And I would ask that we allow our honorees and their guests to be first in the lines. We have 2 lines on each side of the facility here, so I think we can get people through very quickly. And after our program, we've got a special guest, and a person is going to give us some entertainment. And somebody asked me, said, well, is it Donald Trump? And I said, well, it could be. You never know. So thank y'all again for being here. And Nick, if you'll come return thanks.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, we thank you for this day that you have made and given us life and health and breath. And we ask for your blessings upon us as we gathered here this evening. And we thank you for all those who've labored to make our community a better place in which to live. Draw us all closer to you and to one another, we pray. And now we ask that you would bless this food for the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. For we pray in the name of Christ our Lord. Amen.
So if you would, let's go ahead and help ourselves and get our meal started. So thank you again for being here.
We are the perfect partner. We are here to assist in developing our region and its future workforce. So we thank you for supporting us, for all you do for our community. I want to personally thank Emery DeWitt and the FDTC team that put this special event together to honor our 2016 entrepreneurs. And now it is my privilege to introduce to you our MC. Ron Clancy is the Senior Vice President of Operations at Raines Hospitality and is a 33-year veteran of the hospitality industry. In '83, just prior to his senior year of high school, Ron began working at the Holiday Inn in Orangeburg in the laundry department. His energy, enthusiasm, and love for the hotel business quickly moved him through the company ladder, and in 1989 he was sent to the brand new Hampton Inn Hotel in Florence, South Carolina. After opening hotels in Florence and Sumter, Ron was honored and named as the opening general manager of the inn at USC in 2005. But Mark Raines came along and gave him an opportunity that he could not pass up. And in 2008, Ron joined Raines Hospitality team as the Vice President of Operations and has been a vital part of that team and developed 3 hotels in Florence, including Hotel Florence. Although he loved his real job and enjoys living the lyrics to the classic beach music song, Part-Time Party Man. And he was the lead singer of a beach music show band called The Kicks in the 80s and 90s. Ron serves on the board of PD Tourism, South Carolina Restaurant and Lodging Association, the Florence CVB Board, and is a member of the Florence Rotary Club, where he enjoys delivering his special brand of fellowship. Ron and his wife, Missy, have 5 children, ages 6 to 24, and they reside in Hartsville. Ron Clancy.
Thank you, Jill. Okay. I am so excited to be here. Jill asked me like 6 months ago. We were at Rotary one day, and she said, "Ron, come here. You need to come over here." And her and Dr. Ben said, "We're having our entrepreneurial forum and gala, and we would like you to MC this, be the master of ceremonies." I was like, "Oh my God, that sounds like a lot of fun." And I want to do that for sure. I want to be a part of that because I've always wanted to host something like the Oscars. My whole life, I've always I see Billy Crystal, he hosted the Oscars 9 times, right? And I see that and I say, that looks kind of fun. And I had really thought, I had hoped that, when Jill and I talked about it, maybe next year I was thinking that it would be, we could get a red carpet and maybe some paparazzi. And how cool would it have been if a limo pulled up and the red carpet and Dale Barth stepped out. And then, Ken Ard could have been, interviewing him, asking him what he's wearing, what jacket and stuff. Anyway, so I did not know who was going to be honored tonight. I had no idea. As a matter of fact, I forgot I was doing this thing till she sent me an email last week. And she said, "We have to meet. We have to plan out the program." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I met last Friday, and she hands me the program. I was like, "Dave Aycock? Oh my gosh, I was here when he got in the hotel business." I mean, he looks a lot older than me and all, but he started late kind of into the hotel business thing. But when he formed Rowdex, I was there. I saw that happen. I worked for Rowdex. So that was cool to me. I was like, yeah. And then I looked down and I saw Dale Barth. My nickname is Mr. Redbone. I thought, this is so cool. I get to kind of be here to honor Dale Barth. And I was like, wow, this is going to be such a cool night. And I looked at the Swink family from McCall Farms, and I was like, I eat their canned food. This is going to be great. So anyway, it's going to be a fun night. And I love the entrepreneurial. And also, I know a lot of people came in. I'm the one to blame for all the people looking at each other and say, "Were we supposed to wear a tux tonight?" I'm that guy that everybody walks in and thinks they're underdressed. No, we had to talk about that. Jill and I said, what do I need to wear? Can I wear a tux? And she's like, oh, you don't need to wear a tux. And I said, but I want to. If it's going to be like my Oscars, I need to wear a tux. Like look at the history of all the great tuxes the people get to wear at the Oscars, all the way back to Bob Hope and Billy Crystal and Ellen DeGeneres. She did look good in that tux, y'all. Come on now. Wait, speaking of Ellen, I know you got the camera. Let's do a selfie. Hold on. I'm doing a selfie with the Rowdex team over here because when I put it on Instagram, it's going to be like scandalous. Here, hold the microphone. All right. Where's Chad? Okay. All right. I need one of those long selfie things. You really want to be in this, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I was wondering why I couldn't see me.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, ready? Some people.
Oh, you did it again.
It's hard to hold the microphone too. All right, ready? Got it. Thank y'all. I learned that from Ellen. Anyway, okay, so the Oscars, this is kind of like the Oscars for entrepreneurs in the PD in a way. It's a big night. They were honoring folks for their contributions for what they've done in the PD area. And I'm also a history buff, but being in the hotel business, there's a lot of things that I kind of get fanatical about. And Jill was asking me, and she said, get up and talk about whatever you want to. And I said, one of my favorite stories is actually an entrepreneurial story. Because through my job at Raines Hospitality, my favorite thing is to train new associates when you bring them on and be able to share the enthusiasm about the business and all. And I don't think people realize the story of J.W. Marriott and his wife Alice. I thought it was real funny that her maiden name was Sheets. Sheets. We change sheets on our beds every day at Marriott hotels. That was her maiden name. I don't know if that was, knowing about things to come there. But anyway, so in 1927, J.W. Marriott got $600 from his mother's cookie jar. They were living in Utah, and they drove across the United States and got the first A&W root beer franchise east of the Mississippi with $600. It was a 9-stool root beer stand in Washington, D.C. And every employee that we hire, when they come in through their orientation, we give them a nickel. And we ask 5 questions about them. And at the end, they realize what the nickel's for. It's because in 1927, that's what it cost for a root beer, a nickel. And a lot of the same things that you would get when you see our entrepreneurs today, they had to be hands-on like J.W. and Alice Marriott had to be. As a matter of fact, Alice was the one who connected all the nickels off the bar every day, and they called them sticky nickels because they had root beer all over them, right? So, and you also have to be innovative because sometimes your business model wasn't all the way thought through. You know what? Root beer is a great idea in the hot, muggy summertime in Washington, D.C. But when it's snowing outside, nobody wants a cold root beer. So Alice was up in the apartment making hot tamales, and they were selling them in the store. And they ended up growing that. Everybody thinks about Marriott. What do they think about? They think about hotels, right? Well, guess what? It was 30 years before they opened their first hotel. They were in the restaurant business with hot shops and doing all kind of other things before they got the idea to actually open a hotel. 1957, they opened a hotel, trying to get open just in time for Dwight Eisenhower's inauguration. That was the big push to get open for that. So 30 years from the time they opened a 9-stool, that's the spirit that these people have shown. All of the all of the award winners tonight, the people that are being presented, they've had to try to find ways to be innovative with what they've done, to get new ideas, to come up with something cool or something new. So out of you all who are getting honored tonight, has any of you all had a bad idea and tried something? Come on, Dale, there's got to be one or two things on that menu that you were like, you know, that was not a good idea. Can you think of the one? So at the first hotel they opened beside the Twin Bridges, by what's now the Key Bridge in D.C., they had bicycle bellmen. So when you checked in, they give you your room key, and a guy on a bike would ride you over to where your room was at. That never really took off. We don't still do that anymore. But that's the kind of thing that you have to be innovative. You have to think. You have to realize when something doesn't work. We're really excited. We're gonna be doing 5 at a time. There's going to be a video that for each of the honorees, we're going to do them 5 at a time. So the first 5 videos we're getting ready to play right now are going to be for Henry Johnson, Dave Aycock, Doris Lockhart, Henry Swink, and Dale Barth. And after the videos are done, we'll call them up on stage to receive their eagle.
I think my biggest strength would be my decision-making ability. Years of experience in the business combined with a little bit of common sense, I think, gives me the judgment to make right decisions like who to hire, who to promote, where to allocate capital, those kinds of things.
My biggest strength is persistence, and don't wait. Don't waste a lot of good work for the lack of a little more.
Well, I think I've been successful because I have the tenacity not to give up, and in my attitude toward helping people, and every day is a good day.
I think that I have a feel for what the future is going to bring. I give myself credit for seeing the curve and being ahead of that curve, and that's critical.
Well, I don't think there's any secrets to success. I mean, in my particular case, I had a lot of, I was fortunate enough to have some good mentors. My dad was he believed in going into business, and then I had other people, Ashby Larimore and John McGinnis, and a handful of older guys that took time to talk to me. And then, you know, they just told me, get up, you know, focus on what you're doing, work hard, and that's what we've kind of done.
My secret to success is being persistent and following a track until it leads me astray. And if it goes the right direction, keep pursuing it.
Secret to my success, the number one thing is marrying Jenny. But if we talk about the business, it's having a partner that's easy to work with and surrounding ourselves with really good quality people. Both Mr. King and myself, both of us are willing to hire people who are smarter and better at the job than we are.
I think the PD area is a place where an entrepreneur can flourish. It's going through some metamorphosis, I believe, and the PD area is where I'm from. I graduated from high school here. My family is here, where I have the environment that I know that will support me, and they have. So I think the PD area is some place that I would encourage everybody to take a look at.
I've always been one to say, why not here? You know, just because other cities have great things, I'm not sure why we can't have them here. And so, I mean, you know, it just so happens this is where I live, and I choose to live here.
The company was founded in Lake City in 1922, so we were already here. But we've had numerous chances to move or to sell the warehouse, and we've chosen to not do that. And the main reason, again, is the people. We just think the people in this part of the world have a work ethic, they have a respect for authority. It's just a great place to live and work and have a business.
Well, the PD has an awful lot to offer. First of all, it's got good people, as I said earlier. but it also has good soil conditions, good climate conditions, and it's located right in the center or the heart of our major market. Now, we do sell coast to coast, but majority of our market is within a 700-800 mile radius of here. And we've got good highways. We've got 95 going north and south and 20 going east and west. So transportation is good, soil conditions are good, weather conditions good, and equally as important, or more important than anything else, our farmers that grow product for us are just invaluable to creating a consistent raw product.
The best advice that I have received was one some years ago. I had a situation where it just seemed like it was something that I couldn't solve. And I spoke to one of my corporate leaders, and the first thing that they said was, Doris, any situation, there is a resolution. It may not be the one that you desire, but there is a resolution for any situation, and you take that and you tweak it, and you still have your attitude toward what you feel that is going to work out.
The best advice I ever received was the night before I went to college. My mother told me that you're an adult now, and I'm never going to tell you what to do again. I've done all I can do, and you're on your own now. But I want you to always remember to be a Christian and a gentleman. And when I think about the mistakes and the trouble I've gotten into, it's when I've forgotten one of those two things.
I've gotten a lot of advice over the years. Probably the best advice was my dad used to tell me that the guy that's making the speech about how it can't be done is usually interrupted by the guy who just did it. So if you believe in something, just go for it, you know.
Probably the best advice I've ever received is understanding your niche and being the best at it. Don't go out of your niche. In other words, if you're growing your company, stick with what you know. Don't get into something you don't understand or don't have any experience with. Grow and be the best there is in your niche.
The advice I would give to an up-and-coming entrepreneur is to get your hands dirty, get into the business, do every job from entry level on. You got to learn a business from the ground up. And the second thing is to try to find a mentor who's willing to spend some time and teach you the business, because owning a business is a lot different than just working for one.
My advice would be very simple and short. Don't let your negative friends talk you out of a great idea.
The advice I'd give to an aspiring entrepreneur is to have a passion for what you believe in. Do not focus on obtaining wealth. Focus on providing quality, whatever you have, to your community, to individuals, and not take things so personal. You have to have a desire.
You know, dreams are good things, and just go for it. The fruit kind of grows out on the limb of the tree, and it's, you know, you have to climb out there to get it, and it's kind of dangerous out there, and you know, the wind blows and things can happen to you, but just stay with it. Not every little bump is a hill that you can't overcome. Just keep plugging away. Yeah, believe in yourself.
I would say to make sure you understand your end goal is, where you want to be in the end, and have a good business plan to get there.
Well, I believe in tithing. I think that's as important to the giver as it is to the needy person or organization that receives. But my wife and I support 2 churches, 2 colleges, numerous other organizations, and we're very involved with almost everything in Lake City, particularly art fields. We're big supporters of this, and it's just been a great thing for Lake City.
Well, we're involved in just about everything around here. You can't, you know, see anything that our, you know, Redbone's not involved. There are a lot of things we do anonymously anymore, but we're involved in every little thing out there, from Little League to raising money for, you know, for pets and animals. And
people that work with McCall Farms, we support their families, their causes, and their ideas.
Florence Darlington Tech, in my eyesight, is a place where a person who aspires to go into business or just to be a professional. They can provide the atmosphere. A lot of times, big institutions is not something that you fit in, but Florence Darlington Tech can provide a home atmosphere to nurture you. And that's one of the things I think Florence Darlington Tech has to offer.
I think Florence Darlington Tech is a tremendous strength to this area for two reasons. Number one, there's a real need for tradespeople in the world today, for men and women who know how to work on refrigerated equipment, who know how to work on diesel engines, who know how to cut meat. There's an older generation that's retiring from these jobs, and there's tremendous need here. These are good, high-paying jobs that don't necessarily require a 4-year degree, and I think that's a big thing for Florence Darlington Tech. But the other thing is, I think it's important to provide the first year or two of college. I think that's a big deal. I have a lot of young people who come to me who maybe couldn't get into Citadel, and they say, what should I do? And my advice is always go to Florence Darlington Tech, take a couple of college courses, go get a job. You get another year of maturity. You learn how to go to work, how to show up, how to perform a job. Take some courses and prove you can do the work, and then you can transfer, and you'll be much better for the experience.
What makes tech so important to our area is very simple, really. The way our company has grown in the last 5 or 6 years, I mentioned that and we grow organically with the people who are working with us. We promote within, and we realize the importance of having local people running our company. And tech is invaluable. When you grow, you have to grow on not only brick and mortar, but you have to grow technology-wise. Tech offers an awful lot of work or assistance, and whether you're welding, whether you're an electrician, whether you're a plumber, and whether you're programming computers and things like that. And tech offers all that, and most of everybody we've got have gone to tech and have grown with our company through the knowledge that they've received from tech.
That's amazing advice out there to any aspiring entrepreneurs, and I love seeing what each of them had to say. It was inspiring to me to see the advice of somebody who's been that successful. I only had a hard time, though, when Henry Swink was talking, because the whole time he was talking, I was like, man, I wish I had some of those Peanut Patch peanuts. It was like right down there in the bottom, and I kind of have ADD a little bit, so I just kept focusing on the peanuts for some reason. But Henry, did you bring any of those peanuts tonight? I got my smartphone. I'll do that during the next set. So Dr. Ben, I think, is going to come up here, and we're going to give out the first 5 awards before we do the next section. Okay. So first up, Henry Johnson. Dave Aycock. Congratulations. I don't know if he's the tallest one out of all these honorees tonight, but we know he's got the tallest hotel in Florence, so we know that for sure. Okay. Doris Lockhart. Congratulations. Henry Swink. You really did have some good things to say. And I'm not going to lie and just tell you, my good buddy Dale Barth, I'm really excited to see him come up here tonight. Dale's a pretty shy guy. He doesn't like, he didn't even tell anybody he was getting this tonight. He's tried to keep it from his family. You know, his wife's lucky she even found out tonight. So he's a pretty humble guy when it comes to that. Congratulations to everyone. We're going to do the next set of videos here. James Schofield was unable to be here tonight due to illness, but it will be for James Schofield, Jerry Ellison, Rick Saunders, Marion Swink, and Hayward King.
I think my biggest strength is that I have a passion for anything that I'm involved in. And I think that's critical to success. You have to have the drive to finish the job, to do what is necessary to get the job done.
Well, I think my biggest strength really is my people. My initials are on the company, JBE, but the people are really JBE.
I think if I had to pick one, it would be challenging because I think a lot of them are interrelated, but probably my willingness to take risks may be at the top. I think every entrepreneur has to be willing to take risk in life.
I think my biggest strength is just never giving up. I think you've got to know what you're against and have a plan and just don't give up.
The secret of our success is we plan and we work our plan and we hire good people.
The secret to my success is I feel my family. All of my kids and wife is involved in the business. My grandson is involved in the business. And having frank discussions with them and having them at my back really, I think, is the reason for the success.
Our tagline, which is really the core of our business model, says that there's more to banking than money, which really kind of centers around the idea that we exist to make a difference. My secret to achieving that has everything to do with finding people who are equally as passionate about doing that as I am.
I'd say the biggest secret of all is being willing to give what it takes to get the job done.
The secret to success is surrounding yourself with good people. You can't do it all, and you have got to have good people to help you get the job done.
The reason why we chose to grow the business here in the PD area is because of the business-friendly atmosphere that exists here. The PD have a lot of friendly folks and businesses that is conducive towards growth, and so we knew that this would be an excellent place to have it.
Why did we choose? We didn't choose the PD. I guess they chose us because this is our home. We're from here, and we've grown, started in the PD and grew the PD, and then went outside the PD in the state, and then go into North Carolina and Georgia now.
Well, my business has grown in the PD region because my family has been here for over 100 years. And my family was in the hardware business, and then we were in the hotel and restaurant business. 1985, we decided to open Carolina Supply House. And we've been at it for 30 years now. So, you know, we've been dedicated to this community in the supply business for a long time.
The reason we have grown our business in the PD is we have a long heritage of the PD, and the PD also offers us everything that it takes to be successful.
When we started our business, Florence needed a locally owned and headquartered bank. We're still the only locally owned and headquartered bank here. Florence is our home. This is where we'll grow our business because we feel an obligation to support the community that supported us.
The best advice I've ever received probably is if you give enough people what they want, you get what you want. And that's helped us over the years as we plan and as we grow and as we think. If we give enough people what they want, you get what you want.
The best advice I ever got was from a man named Marion Lucas. He came to a city council meeting one day and looked at me and said, opportunity is like a set of doors. The trick in life is knowing when to walk through those doors, because normally those doors are closed. And he was very much correct. If you don't take care of the opportunities when they present themselves to you, usually they will go away and you won't get that opportunity again.
My mother told me a long time ago, Jerry, always, whatever you do, make sure you keep your God in whatever you do. The integrity that you show towards people, make sure that they could see it, and have your workers have the same attitude.
The best advice I've ever received is to work hard, surround yourself with good people, and to be focused in and committed on your job.
In 1998, when we were in the formation phase of our company, I had a friend of mine refer me to an executive coach. He walked into my office and he looked around, and I had on my bookshelf 3 books. Probably didn't have anything to do with what I was trying to accomplish at the time. And he told me then that if I did not become a compulsive learner, I probably would not succeed as a business leader. Since 1998, I've committed myself to a minimum of reading 2 books a month and keeping 5 mentors in my arsenal all the time, so that I could have somebody to reach out to. He told me that if there was an opportunity that I would ever have, or a problem that I would ever face, that somebody before me had probably experienced it and written a book about it, that I'd be well served to become a compulsive learner. And if you'll look around my office, you'll see that I have a bookcase full of books. And I've literally read hundreds, if not thousands, since then. So I'm not the smartest guy around, but I like to think I'm well read, and that's due to him. It's taken years off of my development as a business leader.
To an up-and-coming entrepreneur, the advice I would give is that to plan, think about very seriously what they have in mind or want to do, plan it, and then work their plan. If they do that, I think that they could find success in what they do.
Put God first. I would say that first. And then I would say that if you don't already love your work, you need to learn to love your work. That's 2 of the things that I would think I'd tell an entrepreneur.
Do something that you love. That's the best advice. Anyone getting into business for themselves or whatever occupation you're in, is do something you enjoy doing. Too many people are in a job they don't enjoy, so do something that you enjoy doing, but then be willing to pay the price to make a success of it.
Decide on what you want to do. Be committed to it. Go all in. And remember that so often you only have one time to get the job done.
I would say that if you're not really passionate about what you're doing, don't do it. If you're doing it for money, there's not enough money you can make to justify the sacrifices you and your family will have to make and the risk that you will be taking.
It's important that we give back to our community, and I do it several ways. One, I'm on several boards. I'm on the hospital, I'm on the Florence and Arlington Tech Board, and on the County Development Board. So I feel putting myself out in that regard, trying to encourage other businesses to come here, as well as being a source of help in order to reduce the employment situation, is how I give back.
Well, I've always felt like that those who are successful need to give back to the community in a proper way, and I've always done that by trying to serve on the planning commission for the city years ago, and then ran for city council and was elected for 2 terms. And then later I ran for county council, and I'm serving my 3rd term now on county council.
I like giving back to the PD through a Christian-based way. I believe in giving back to churches and those Christian organizations.
We employ over 100 people here in Florence. 90 of them are actively engaged in volunteer efforts in community and charitable and civic organizations within town. We give a lot of sweat equity back to the community. While we can't write big checks all the time, we think it's part of our culture for our people to be a participant in giving back, and we do that.
The Florence Darlington Tech College is so important is because of what it offers to the community, not only to the students that attend there, but to businesses. Florence Darlington Tech is absolutely important for this community.
Having a technical school that is focused on building and developing skill sets of our young people, I think is critical for our community to attract new businesses to the area.
You have to learn a skill set that can give you a good job, and Florence Darlington Tech provides that in this community and has for many, many years. Whether you're a welder or a nurse or whatever you want to be, Florence Darlington Tech has been at the forefront of providing a education that comes with a skill set that you're ready-made to go take a job.
Once again, great advice, and I kept hearing the word passion. You can tell that a lot of our honorees tonight, that's a big drive behind them, is the passion they have for their business. All right. Once again, we'll say that James Schofield was not able to be here tonight, so if Jerry Ellison will come up. Best thing I seen tonight is that little girl smiling and clapping. That's your I was going to say, is that your granddaughter? She is very excited about that. I bet she's going to want to hold it in a minute, right? Okay, Rick Saunders. And Marion Swing. And Hayward King.